Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, B-Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. What I do for you. Oh, I got a nice little page and a half worth of information that is good, useful information. So let's do what we do. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's the message and the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching and obtaining spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. So you see where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I ask the question, do you know you well when I'm through? It's rhetorical. But if you have an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to Mayat, be true. Right thinkers, let's piggyback on what Mayat teaching you. Now, let's know what are right thinkers. Let's talk about what are the disciplines of selfless service. Oh, it's a few things you need to understand about offering the selfless service. It ain't easy, so let's talk about it. I got a quick lesson for you. Now, selfless service is an important ingredient in the development of your spiritual life. In selfless service, one adopts the attitude, pay attention, of seeing and serving the divine in everyone and in every creature. Everybody's treated equal in the spiritual eyes. And one is to feel as an instrument of who? God, the divine, doing what? Working to help the less able. My job is to talk to those who need what I got, not to those who don't want it and don't really need it, so I'm not beat for that. I know I'm not commercial. I know I ain't for everybody, but for those who I am for, I got you. The following are some important points. I'm going to give you two, I ain't but two of them. Points to keep in mind when practicing right thinking philosophy. We know it as the selfless service. First, number one, having control the body, meaning you're physically fit, you're in good condition. And then your speech, you speak makaru. Your thoughts are good and pure. When you can control those aspects of your character, now you're ready to offer a selfless service. If you don't have those things intact, you're going to see as I go along. If those things aren't in place, you're going to have some issues. Okay, you're not going to be a selfless servant. You're going to be paying somebody's butt. Moving on. Working to help you. Okay, now the following are some important points to keep in mind when practicing selfless service. Number one, having control of the body. Now, a person who lives by Mayat, right thinkers, should see him or herself, pay attention, as an instrument, again, of God, being used to bring harmony, peace, and to help to what? The world. I'm trying to say the world. That's a big bite, big chunk to take out, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm not just local. I want everybody. All human beings. That means everywhere. Excuse me. All human beings and nature are expressions of the divine. Again, we're all one family under God. Just living as individuals. Excuse me. Spiritual beings having a human experience. Excuse me. Serving human beings. I'm here to serve, to help, and nature as serving what? The supreme divine self as God. By helping mankind in society, I'm helping myself also. That's the concept. Excuse me. I need some cold tea, something get down. Excuse me. Now, excuse me. In chapter 34, verse 10 of the Per M Harut scripture, it says, the initiate states that he or she had become, you ready? A spiritual doctor. I heal you with words. I'm not touching you. I'm not a touchy-feely type of dude. That's not my thing. Okay? I became a spiritual doctor. They are sick. Very ill people. I go to them. I go to the streets. I go to find them. And what happens? Now, this is what Jesus was doing. I spit on their arms. I ain't going to do that. Trust me. I set the shoulder. Not going to do that either. And I cleanse them. Mentally, yeah. Spiritually, yeah. Physically, no. I'm not doing that either. Okay? Now, as a servant of the divine, and that's what I claim, of the divine self, a person who lives by Mayat is also considered a healer. It'll be done with words. Just as it would be inappropriate for a medical doctor to lose his or her patience with his or her patient. Why? Because the patient is complaining due to their illness and the pain that they're going through, probably. So too, it is inappropriate for an initiate to lose their patience when dealing with what? The masses of worldly minded people, aka ignorant people, suffering from what? The illness of ignorance of what? Their true essence themselves. They don't know themselves. People that's lost is the people who aren't being led in the right way. You got these leaders who, Jim Jones, who get everybody and get them going, and then just to kill them. I ain't trying to do none of that nonsense. Enlighten you with knowledge of self, and you can do your own thing. I don't need nobody following me or none of that nonsense. Use the views. But, so it must be clearly and profoundly understood what? That in serving the Lord, you are serving what? The true self and not the ego self. This ain't about me. I'm going to pass it to you all the time. It ain't about me. We give it all to God. Okay, moving on. Now, the second, let's say able to, yep. The second one, now as discussed earlier, a person who lives by Mayat, right thinkers, should not expect, word right there, expect. As a right thinker, you don't want to have expectations for nobody or nothing. You want to not expect anything. Expect the unexpected. Okay? Expect something that you may not have seen, dealt with before. But be ready, be prepared. That's what that means. Always vigilant. Okay? But you should not expect a particular result from their actions. Okay? I'm just giving the message. How many people tune to get the message? It got nothing to do with me. That's what I'm saying. So, but in other words, one does not perform actions and wait for a reward or praises. They shouldn't. Most of us do. I gave a lesson with a doer and a non-doer. A doer, that's what he does. Just what he just said. That's a doer. A non-doer, do it the way I do it. Just because it's the right thing to do, and I know I'll get my reward for doing what's right. So whoever benefit from whatever action I did for them, got nothing to do with them. Got nothing to do with me with that. Why? I get mine. And watch this. Through working to achieve what? Success in any project. And mine is to just enlighten people to what I'm doing. One does not develop what? Expectation that one's efforts will succeed. If you think everybody's gonna tune into your little funky podcast to learn about this stuff, you done lost your mind. I know that already. But I still do what I do for those who will tune in. And because there may be failure in what one is trying to accomplish. Okay, that's understandable. Won't be the first time. But if a person who lives and practice by Maya focuses on what? The success of their project, and failure occurs, what happens? They freak out, they go, nope. And failure occurs, now the mind will become so imbalanced. What I'm trying to do ain't getting done. I'm not getting the results, so it's not going my way. And that will what? Negate all the positive developments of your personality and the integration, expansion, and your concentration which occurred as the project was pursued. All the work, the effort, the energy you put into whatever you're trying to get done is all for naught if you let it go down the drain like that, so to speak. So therefore, one's focus should be on what? Doing one's part. That's it. All I care about is doing what I do. That's it. That could care less. By performing that service, I'm a teacher. If you want me, I'm going to come and I'm going to do what I do for you. I'm not going to do nothing else. Moving on. And watch this. Performing the service and letting the divine handle the results. I do what I could. Once it's out of my hand, it's up to him. And if you practice any religion, that's your philosophy too, pretty much. Okay? Things that we don't control, we put in his hand. Let go and let God, what they say. I understand. I listen to what y'all say. Y'all just don't live up to what y'all say. Moving on. This will provide you with what? Who live by Maya with what? A peace and the ability to what? Be more qualitative in the work being performed. And without the egoist, there you go, without the reward of being, without the egoistic content, you can perform your ability to the best of your capabilities without worrying about how did I look, how they do, what do you think about me, how did I? No, just do what you do. That's it. Criticizing, accolades, both the same to me. Really don't move the needle. I'm not going to get all googly eyed and crazy because you like what I do, or I'm not going to get all bent out of shape because you don't like what I do. Again, that's what I'm trying to explain to you. And you can do this in a more what? Harmonious way, which will what? Lead to you being more sensitive to the needs of others, which I try to ingratiate myself to, and of the existence of what? The spirit as the very essence of one's being. I see what you're looking at. I see your spirit. I can see your heart. I can tell by your action what's going on inside you, pretty much. So that's the third eye vision, seeing somebody's intentions and knowing their spirit. I tell what level you vibrating on, what range you're at. I know all those things. I do that in a few seconds when I engage. So old school. All right. Next, let's get into secular Maya selfless service. Let's go to a quick breakdown. It leads to what? Spiritual Maya mysticism. What the hell you talking about? Good question. Hope I can answer that right quick. The highly advanced and lofty teachings of right thinking philosophy is becoming what? One with Supreme Being. That's the goal. Sorry. And through what? Daily righteous actions and further augmented, it further arguments what? Augments by what? The hymn to Maya contained in the scripture, which is now referred to as the Berlin Papyrus below. This is a few phrases that they say that they did to Maya. When you give a hymn to somebody, you give him praise, you offer him praise. So that's what they're doing. And Maya is getting hers. This was her calling card. Okay? When you saw that, or you saw the scale, you knew who that was. Okay? Now let's talk about this right quick. I got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, about 6 or 7 phrases. The first one is Maya. Anku Maya. That means Mayat is the source of life. Think about it. Next one is Mayat Neb Bu-Tin. That means Mayat is everywhere you are. Like that one. Cha Hena Mayat. That means rise in the morning with Mayat. Eat, sleep, and drink Mayat. All right. Next one is Hena Mayat. My favorite. Live with Mayat. Don't live without her. Ha Sima Mayat. Let every limb join with Mayat. In essence, let her guide your actions. Let Mayat be your guide. Mayat Hurtin. That means Mayat is you, are deep down. In essence, your true identity is one with what? The divine. We know that. And the divine in this case is Mayat. Dua Mayat Neb Bhutan. That means you see me do this, that's admiration. That's a sign of dua, praise and respect for God. Okay? The Masons told us it was a sign of astonishment. It fit when the high noon, when the sun gleamed down on the pyramid with that white coating. In order for you to look at it, you had to put your hands up to glean off, so the shades and stuff. But I get the symbols behind it. I do now. Then it's whatever, but yeah, I get it now. So again, profound concepts come to those who, when they really get the lesson that's being presented to them, when you really get it, yeah, the light go on. It'd be like, yeah, I love that. Why? Because adoration to God is Mayat, who is what? In everywhere you are. You and Mayat are one. That makes Mayat what? Goddess of what? Order, reciprocity, everything good, divine, righteousness, and all that stuff. Now, they got some stuff about advertising Mayat. I ain't got time for that. But now let's get to the next page and I can wrap it up with this one here. This is what they thought of Mayat. When you offer up, you offering up the statuette of Mayat. They offer up the eye of Haru, and also there's the king. He's offering up offering. The offering is the highest scale you can give. You see him offering up Mayat right here? Okay? That's the highest gift. And they call it a blind Mayat. That's her with the blindfold on. Okay? But let me wrap this up for you. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. This is my girl. Now, they call this the supreme offering of Mayat. How about that? In the practice of Mayat philosophy, the sage has declared that what? The highest offering a person can make is the practice of Mayat. Where? In your day-to-day life, daily. Even the kings and queens symbolically offer a figure of Mayat to who? To their chosen divinity. You offer Mayat up to your God. If Ra is God, you offer Mayat up to Ra. If it's Amun, Amun. If it's Ptah, it's Ptah. And they do this as proof of what? Their upholding of Mayat, which represents what? Righteousness and justice and divine order. Conducting themselves in the proper manner, doing the thing they need to do, acting accordingly. That's what all Mayat philosophies, right thinkers follow. That's how we conduct ourselves. In Masonic order, they tell you, we don't solicit masonry. We show. And I came in order because I wanted to be like my man that I was working with. Man, he was respected. I wanted some of that. So I became a Mason. That's why I joined the order for. Why? To get respect. And it worked. I got it. Moving on. But I came there to do that, and that's what I did. All right? A lot of people came there and ain't do nothing. Moving on, another lesson. But, okay, where we at? Now, in the practice of Mayat philosophy, everyday life, even the kings and queens, okay. So now, watch this. For all members of society and temple, this means performing selfless service as well as living by the precept of Mayat, and that's one's personal life. Those 42 confessions, I've mastered them in my personal life. That's how you know you can rise above ordinary nonsense, by changing life, by having something to live for, having symbolic reason. I became a follower of Mayat over 40 years ago now. Moving on. And I just showed you the little thing, the statuette. It says here, the offering of Mayat is symbolizing what? The ultimate act of righteousness. In the temple of Seti I, the king offers, I'll show you the picture, the guy offering up, that's king, that's Seti in the first pen. He offered up to Asar, which is his god, Amun-Ra, Asar. The Asarian mythology, okay, Trinity. Asar was king. One of the main duties of the king, even Asar, was to uphold Mayat. And Mayat is the ethical, moral basis for what? A harmonious society. If you got good at the top, it's a trickle-down effect. Everything else to be good. And when you start with Mayat, everything got to be fall under Mayat. That's balance, that's honesty, and everything good. If it is also the duty of who? The king, to protect Mayat by what? Opposing all who seek to what? Destroy, disrespect the peace and justice. Not good people. That's why he was the erased, okay? But the highest expression of the king's pledge to uphold Mayat is to what? It was to make the Mayat offering. Offer up to you. On the other side, it shows you right here, you got Mayat offering, the offering of the Mayat. And at the bottom, I showed you that the king offering the eye, secret of Mayat. Mayat offering, by acting with righteousness and attaining what? Virtue. And the supreme offering is now made through what? Through the Mayat offering, in which you, the person making the offering, enter into what? A meditative state to raise your conscious level, to commune with your higher self, God, in this case, Mayat, in awareness through what? The ritual, and sees him or herself as what? Becoming one with Mayat. I love that. But I'm trying to get you to become one with your higher self. They just did it with the Mayat philosophy, which works same way, same premise, same concept. Okay? So it worked any way you want to try it. It still works. Practice Mayat, live Mayat, become Mayat. Same thing. Let's go. In closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles a day. So I never know that. My right thinkers, if you practice Mayat, you know we don't pass away. I got more for you. Yeah, I got some good stuff coming up. I'll be right back.